Good morning, everyone. Today I just felt like turning on the camera and make art. My last few videos have been mainly vlogs that take me forever to film and edit. So today I decided to take it easy. Today I'm working off of a mood board, which I don't usually do, but since I'm filming my process, I thought that maybe you'd like to see what my inspirations are today. I already know that I want to be using my Holbein gouache today, so I picked a color scheme according to the colors that I have. Side note, I bought those for a book that I'm working on, and the colors are very limited. I don't think you need all the colors of the rainbow in gouache because you can mix them, of course. But yeah, I'm working with very specific colors today. I'm gonna start by doing thumbnails because I haven't really taken the time to do that yet. This idea popped in my head yesterday while I was trying to sleep, as ideas often do, and the only thing I had to sketch on was my notes app on my phone, so I did a quick little doodle of that so that I wouldn't lose the idea, but I haven't done like proper thumbnail work yet. The idea that I had in mind for this piece is a character who's like tucked in under a blanket, and then there's like a little character, or maybe we can make more than one, and they're like bringing something. I wasn't sure if I wanted like a character bringing like a strawberry. I don't know why, but that was my first idea. Why would a little small bed creature bring a strawberry to that character? So then my other idea, or the other image that popped in my head was like a ray of light, like a star burst or something. And so I was thinking, oh, maybe they're bringing her a dream. And so that kind of became the idea, I guess. I just realized that you were kind of far and probably couldn't see a whole lot of what I was doing, so welcome back. I think I want the character to be like bigger, huge, like to really show scale. I want this to feel very dreamy with like bright colors. This composition sucks. I think I want the character to be like way up here, like we barely see that she's there, you know, because she's not the main focus anyway. So maybe she can be like here, and then like this is the quilt. Maybe this character could be here, running with their little legs, and then you got another one coming from here. It breathes a little bit more than here, but what we can also do is the opposite. So like, there's one character here, kind of like how I did here, but where they're more spread out. Because I think I kind of like the idea of the light like overlapping with the girl, even though I assume that if you had tiny little rays of lights going in your face, you'd probably wake up. But you know, I'm assuming that they're not really there, they're more like metaphorical. Alright, so I think I want to make one more version of this, one more thumbnail before I jump into the final illustration. I try to keep my thumbnails usually pretty sketchy and vague, but I like to make one thumbnail, at least at the end, that's a little bit more detailed. Guess what? I already forgot that I was working off of a mood board. So I just realized I wanted to do like some swishy stuff around, like flowers and petals and stuff around the edges, kind of like there's wind and it's like blowing things around. Like the idea is kind of like it's a representation of how a dream forms and how, like, when you fall into a deep sleep, it feels like you're getting sucked in. Yeah. I think I've got the idea down pretty much. I've gathered all my supplies now. These are the Holbein paints that I was talking about. I got luminous lemon, pale lavender, pink, and ice green. I don't know yet if I'm gonna need it, but since there are some images from my mood board that use this color, I might, so I'm just gonna keep it on the side just in case. I got some brushes, of course, and a pipette for the water. And I've got, of course, my ceramics palette that I painted myself. It's looking a little yucky today because obviously I use it and don't clean it afterwards. So I tried cleaning it, but of course the paint has hardened, so you have to like peel it off. You can't just wash it off like regular gouache, so it's gonna have to look like that for today. You'll have to excuse me. I've got 2 containers of water, of course. Got the dirty water and the clean water. This is for the paint brushes, and this is for mixing with the paint in case you've never done gouache before. I just realized that I've never done gouache on this channel, which is surprising because that's one of my favorite mediums. I got my big Canson XL watercolor paper. I love how big the paper is because I can make bigger paintings or cut up the paper to make smaller paintings. It's super practical, plus it's cheap. It's most definitely not the best paper in the world, I can tell you that, but it does the job for me. And you can see I've already marked where I'm gonna be cutting the paper later. I'm not going to be using the whole thing. Got my thumbnail close, of course. I've got my computer over on this side with my reference images. And I also have this page as a reference. This is when I started using the paints. I swatched them, of course, to see how they were doing. And I did some color mixes as well. Can you believe that this green was made from mixing this yellow with this purple? That blows my mind. It's such a pretty green. Yeah, that gives me an idea of what color combinations I can do with this paint. I'm gonna put a little clip in here so that I can easily flip from one page to the other. I'm gonna save this on the side and let's paint. Like a lot of artists working with gouache, I like to start every painting with a base color. I think those are called underpaintings, and I think that for this painting it would be wise to start with the lightest color that I got in this palette, which is the bright yellow. I'm gonna water it down a fair bit. The paper is starting to buckle. That's what happens with cheaper paper, unfortunately. At least I think so. So that's the base color done. I'm gonna wait for it to dry and I'm gonna come back. While this dried, I went to make some coffee. Alright, so now that this is dry, we can go and sketch. I completely forgot that I needed to sketch. I want to make the sketch really loose because I've been really into a more painterly style recently, and I feel like if my sketch is too detailed, it's gonna look too tight, too clean, and that's not really what I want. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to achieve this with gouache, but we'll see. I'm trying things out for this one. I made this thumbnail way wider than the paper is actually. Oopsies. Like her little feet's running. Well, I say her, but honestly, I don't really know. I don't know, should I draw them smaller? Maybe I could do them smaller. Maybe I can erase a little bit. I don't want to like rip the paper too much. I think this works, right? Little guy here. Maybe their starbursts can overlap. Oh my gosh, I made it the same size. Like that, I guess. I don't know. It's a weird angle. I'm gonna take down the corners there because they are kind of bothering me. I'll take them off when I need to paint in those areas. Oh, I'm panicking a little bit because I'm not sure what colors I want to use. Maybe I should go back to my thumbnails and do some tests for the colors. I know that I want the shadows to be done with the lavender color. I feel like this area up here should be in that color, and maybe it would be smart to bring it down here as well to balance it out. Maybe I should have started with the purple actually as the base color, because I feel like I want everything to be in shadows because it's nighttime, and then the center be brighter. Gosh, I love this. I love this pencil. Very bright yellow. And I'm probably gonna have a bright pink also on the outside. I think I'm gonna add also a red in there. I think I'm gonna use a magenta from the from my Winsor & Newton paints, because I feel like we might lack a little bit of contrast in the end. Maybe the characters are gonna also be made of light, like they're gonna be completely white on the inside and just have like a glow around them. So after thinking about it a little bit more, I think I want to go with this color palette for the little guys, and I'm gonna try to make that look good. Basically I'm gonna use mostly the ultramarine, the purple, and then the teal for the rest of the background, and then these little guys and the starburst are gonna be the brightest bits. I'm gonna start with the little guys, I think. I don't know if this color is gonna be too dark for me because I love a pastel color. For sure it's going to dry a little bit darker, but I am happy with this color, so I'm not gonna lighten it. Of course, I have a white gouache that I can mix these paints in if I need them to be lighter. So of course that's always an option. I'm so stingy with this paint because it's so expensive. I don't want to waste it. I already just tend to waste it because it's acrylic, so you can't reactivate it. Yeah, it's way darker than it was at first, but I think it's fine. The great thing about this is that if I want to go lighter, I can. Alright, so I think I'm gonna do the face of the character. I'm really bad when it comes to painting light. I'm getting better at it, but I struggled with that for a long time. It just doesn't really compute in my head. I think I'm gonna get into the little starbursts. I'm gonna mix an orange. Oh, okay, well I guess I'm gonna start with the pink. I think that's what the universe was trying to tell me. This pink stain is probably going to haunt me, like, just wait, I'm not gonna be able to get rid of it. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. There's something about these ugly lines that I think are kind of charming, but actually that's just me running out of paint. Yeah, I'm gonna need more pink. Gotta mix the orange. There we go. Ugh, I love these neon colors, they're so good. You know what, that's not as neon of an orange as I thought it would be. You see, this bright yellow has a weird tendency of separating, you know, like it's like the yellow isn't mixing in fully, and it's like separating. I don't know. Okay, I'm back. The lighting changed. I don't know if it changed like all of a sudden or if it was progressive. I'm really sorry about that, but it looks like it's about to rain. It's really cloudy right now, so we're gonna have to deal with that. But yeah, I'm back because I really don't like how dark this teal has become. I don't know if it's probably because I put a really bright color next to it. Now it looks so dull and dark. So I'm gonna lighten it up. I know that people say not to use straight white because it dulls the colors. Honestly, I've noticed that, but I'm not about to use this yellow to lighten up my teal. It's gonna look like a totally different color, so we're just gonna have to try with the white. I wonder if you can spot the little hairs, little cat hairs all over this piece. And that's a constant struggle, trying to pick at every single hair. And if I don't notice that they're there, it's just gonna get stuck under the paint, and it's there forever. So at this point, I just embrace it. You know, I'm an artist with a cat, what can I say? I'm gonna try to sketch out how I want to do this leg. But you know, now that I think about it, I don't like this teal either. So I think I am gonna try to add some yellow. I do like how it looks in the palette. It looks like a gorgeous green. Oh my gosh, I love this green. I love any chartreuse kind of green. Sorry for the gasping. I'm losing my mind over this green. Okay, I think I've gained my confidence back with this green because I really like it. Maybe I should have left a little bit of that teal underneath. Yeah, I like the way this teal is showing up underneath the green. Use some of that teal for under here, maybe like shadow from the head. I feel like I've lost some of the movement that I wanted to get in this piece. I feel like I placed these outside elements a little bit too intentionally, and I kind of ended up losing some movement. Let's try this teal with the purple. I want to try it because I feel like I'm running out of colors to use in swishy like elements, you know? Okay, I don't know if that did anything. Did that do anything? Let's see. Oh, it's the same. Is it different? Should I add more teal? I think it looks different. You can see it's getting a bit darker here. Well, I can see that. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe I can add more. I'm gonna try this color to like outline this flower. Maybe this one too, since they're pretty much the same color. I sketched out some little stars here and there. I think I'm gonna do them in the hot pink. Ooh, that is such a pretty color. Just on their own, these 5 colors are really pretty. I really hate the face. I mean, obviously at the moment there's no details, so it just looks like a freaking mess. But I guess I'm gonna start adding some ultramarine blue and see if that gives me my will to live back. Of course, it's all dried up. I'm gonna start by taking some of it out. And I'm gonna mix it with the purple. See how that looks. It doesn't always work when you try to mix acrylic gouache with regular gouache, but we'll see. I mean, it's already looking pretty dark, which is what I wanted. I don't know if it's gonna dry lighter though, or if it's gonna dry darker. Gouache dries darker when it's a lighter color and lighter when it's a darker color. So sometimes it's like a gamble of like trying to figure out if it's gonna dry like a dark color or like a light color. And I think I'm gonna add some darker purple on the outside of the character. I feel so lost right now because I have to mix every color myself and I have to like think of every color I put down, and I have to be very intentional about it. And like if I was working digitally, I would just color pick this and like color this whole part in this color, but no, I have to mix it myself, which I probably could, you know, because it's probably just pink and the pale lavender. But I'm so scared of mixing the wrong color and I'm scared that it's gonna look bad. But I think I am going to mix some pink with the purple. Maybe then I can make this bit look less harsh. You know, I don't hate this. I think it's definitely overworked compared to the rest. Now I'm gonna take out my magenta. Honestly, this one is dry too, but I'm gonna do my best. This is not really looking like the red I want, actually. It's looking too dark, a bit too desaturated. I'm gonna see if I can mix it with pink. That might be too much pink, actually. Ooh! No! It's freaking gray. What is that? You think maybe this red with yellow? Hey, I think that's actually working. Maybe I need more yellow. Oh. I'm just gonna use magenta because I am struggling. I'm gonna do some red flowers here and there. I think I want to put down the color of the quilt now. I think I want to try doing it in that green that I make with yellow and purple. Actually, I'm not loving this color, so I think what I'm gonna do instead is that I'm going to use my yellow and the teal. Oh, that's a color I can get behind. As you can see, the background is not fully painted, but I'm still struggling with the contrast. Like, you can see these shapes, some of them are too close in value, so they kind of blend in with the color that I chose for the background. So I'm gonna move on to something else. That's basically what I do, like when I get overwhelmed by a part of a piece, I just move on. And I think that right now what I want to do is bring in some line art. At first with this piece, I wanted to see if I was going to be able to do something nice without using pencil. Like, I was hoping that I would just use gouache for this. So even though that's not what I intended at first, now I have potential to add a bunch of really interesting texture. So, you know, I think in the end it works both ways, you know, like whether I decided to go with pencil or not. Moment of truth. I think I'm gonna move on to the little guys now. They desperately need to be carved out from the background. And I think I'm gonna go in with some ultramarine and add some shadows. I've really ruined this brush, haven't I? You have probably been able to hear my cat whining all throughout this video. I'm sorry if that annoys you. Don't worry, he's not being mistreated. It's just that while I'm filming this, he has no one to give him attention, so he's kind of freaking out right now. He's like, Mommy is speaking, but she's not speaking to me. How come she's not paying attention to me? I've been yelling for hours. I desperately need to finish this. I've been working on this for far too long. I think I'm done with the little guys. Alright, the background is completely painted in. Thank goodness, because this has been taking forever. I think at this point I'm just gonna embrace the mixed media of it all and just use an acrylic marker. I'm gonna try this color. It looks really orange on camera, but it's a reddish orange. It feels like every other color looks really dull next to these really bright colors like the pink and the yellow, but I feel like this works a little bit better maybe. I want some yellow around here. I need to stop mistreating my brushes so much. These poor little brushes. I kind of want to darken up this area so that it's more balanced with like the top, and I'm gonna use my Artex markers because honestly I'm kind of sick of mixing colors and I kind of want this last part to be nice and clean. I'm gonna add like some scribbly bits because I love doing that. I'm gonna use this pink. Honestly, I'm at the point of this piece where I feel like I just want to add a bunch of like scribbly bits. That might be a little bit controversial, but I feel like that always ends up adding interest to a piece and make it look a little bit messy, but like in a good way. I can be delusional and tell myself like it was just a sketch, like I wasn't trying to do anything crazy good anyway, but actually I did try to do something crazy good. So this is the final piece. It didn't turn out exactly as I imagined. Like I said at the beginning, I wanted it to look a little bit dreamy. I think this part looks dreamy, but then here it looks more playful, which isn't a bad thing. I think I kind of like it that way actually. It's more my style with like all the scribbles and everything going on. So yeah, I want to thank you for joining me on this process. Subscribe to this channel, of course, leave a like, and you can also follow me on Instagram, and you can also support me on Ko-fi if that's something you're interested in. All those links will be down in the description. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, stinkies!